Hey everybody, thanks to figuring out technology, I wanted to make a different type of video, and so this is a fun experiment for me. I wanted to be able to, I've already made so many videos on like me actually unboxing wheels, demoing wheels, physically lugging them around in my living room and showing you the different types. That obviously is something you can go find very easily, and I will try to link to this video on my channel. I've made a million of those, but I know that when I am searching on the internet for answers, and especially for YouTube answers, I'm usually wanting somebody to like jump to the chase on like, these are the points of why you would like something. This is what you need to know about this particular topic. And so I wanted to make, I like the green screen style videos. I wanted to make one of these green screen style videos and just kind of wanted to see if I could. And two, I think it would be a great way to deliver content that are kind of answers to questions that people have, or very searched questions that I know people are looking for, without having to dig around in the archives of my videos to find exactly what it was, because so many of my videos were filmed live that it was like, you know, several topics could be in one. So I am a bullet point kind of girl, so I wanted to be able to make more of a bullet point kind of video. So here is my first attempt at that. This particular video topic I wanted to cover was just why I think that you would want a Spinlution wheel, or why I think Spinlution wheels are the best, however you want to put that. I'm obviously biased. Y'all know I'm a huge, like, I work for Spinlution, I sell Spinlution. Clearly I'm biased, so save me your comments about how I'm biased, because, you know, duh. But my feelings on why Spinlution wheels are great still need to be cataloged. They still need to be cataloged. And clearly, they're just like, there's different types of purses that appeal to different types of people. Sorry. Somebody is wanting to sit in my lap. Just like there are different types of purses that may appeal to different types of people for different reasons, because you like the brand, or you like the styling, or you like the leather, or you like where it's made, or you like the design. Same can be said for spinning wheels. So if there's another brand that the vibe particularly speaks to you on, then that's great, and I'm sure it's wonderful, and please go look up videos on their spinning wheels, and they can tell you all about them, I'm sure. But if you found this one, I'm going to assume it's because you have interest in learning more about Spinlution spinning wheels, and I have lots of information, so I'm here to tell you that. So, like I said, if this video resonates with you, please go check out the rest of my channel. I have about 1 million videos of me over the past 8 years dragging many different models of Spinlution spinning wheels all over my house and making all sorts of different yarn on them, so you can totally see it in action. But jumping to the chase on this, I wanted to make you my list. I've even written it down on my favorite features that, as a dealer, that I most go over with people when trying to connect them with their favorite type of wheel. One of the first main reasons that I want to cover that people really love Spinlution wheels, and that is one of the better tools to help me really match the spinner with the wheel, is the option of the hook or tube, or now they've even made a hook tube hybrid. There's hybrid options. Those are on the Spin Perfect line. But I feel like what comes standard is the open-faced hook orifice. And I myself, when I bought my very first Polywog, I ordered, it came with the hook, and I wanted the tube because that's what I was used to. That's what I was used to on the Lewitt I'd learned on, and so I felt like that's what I needed. I ordered the tube to go with it. I used that tube like one whole time and then resold it because I loved the hook so much. And if you're a newer spinner or you've just never been around, you know, I think in our minds, we can kind of feel like, how's that going to work? Like, you're bringing fiber around a hook. Like, isn't it just going to fall apart or fall off? Or, and once again, go watch my videos. You can see many examples in all of my videos and courses of the hook in action. It's brainless. You're literally just bring the leader thread around under the hook and attach the fiber, and you're off. So there's really, don't think about it. I love the hook, and the benefit of the Hook Orifice is because it is open-faced. One, you're not having to try to, like, use a special tool or cram anything down or pull anything through. It's very easy to use. And also, if you're wanting to spin more unusual yarn, larger yarn, beehive yarn, I don't know, any sort of yarn that is not your most natural yarn, having that open-faced hook gives you so much versatility, so much ease of use, and just so many options where you're not having to go through being limited by the size of a tube. We do still offer the tube, so fear not. There's a tube, I'm hoping, floating around here somewhere. You can still find the tube, and that is very well loved by people that love to spin lace weight, super fine yarn. They just particularly like the tube. The idea with the tube is that it is putting less pressure on any one particular point. So if you're trying to spin the world's thinnest yarn, I am not ever trying to spin the world's thinnest yarn, but if you are, the tube some people really like, so that is why that is offered. And then there is the hook tube hybrid. If you want like one orifice to rule them all, then get that one, but which is also very popular. I have one of those as well, and I do really like it. Just being honest, I pretty much primarily use the hook for everything, and my default yarn is not super duper thin, but I do spin what I consider to be, as thin as I would ever want it to be, lace weight, sport weight, super thin yarn, and I'm lazy. I don't change it out, so I just use the hook, and I have not personally had any problems there. So that would be one of the main reasons that people like Spinolution wheels, is the options with the hook tube. The reason that people love Spinolution wheels and why I think they're a great option is just the variety in bobbin sizes. And most wheel companies, I feel like, do have different sizes of bobbins, but as far as the expansive size of bobbins, I think Spinolution has the market beat there. And not just that you can choose everywhere from like a little tiny 4-ounce to a big giant 64-ounce. I think the modular wheel setup is something that is very special and unique to Spinolution, which for not every model of the wheel, even though every model, I feel like, even if it's just switching out the bobbins, has a little bit of capacity that way. The Firefly, the Echo, the Monarch, just those three. Firefly, the Echo, and the Monarch, and the Polywog kind of has its own things, but they also, the Polywog too, all have the ability to switch out the top half of your spinning wheel. So it's kind of like getting to have a base that is your base that you keep, and then switching out the top half of your spinning wheel. So you're not just changing bobbin size on the same flyer head, but you could also really change, like for example, if you're wanting to spin art yarn on the electric Firefly, really change the capacity of the strength of the flyer head to manage those bobbins, or the gear options if you want smaller, more lace weight bobbins, because there's more that goes in to the range between lace weight and big chunky art yarn than just changing the bobbin. There's also the gears and just the size and the power and the mechanism that goes into it. So I really think being able to switch out not just the bobbin size, but the actual flyer head size is an amazing reason just for versatility, because I know, even though I usually spin myself between, let's say, maybe sport weight and chunky weight, I'm not super into like the super giant tapestry yarn or super into like the finest frog hair yarn, as my dad would say. I'm somewhere in the middle. I do really enjoy having the versatility in range in there, and I feel like most people, you start spinning because you're wanting to enjoy the creative process with that. So having, even if you didn't buy the other options to start with, knowing that you had a wheel that you could really upgrade or customize like a car, that I think is very appealing to spinners. So on a similar note, instead of changing the bobbins, I think the amount of ratios for the fast speeds that Spinolution has is another very appealing reason to look into them. Spinolution spinning wheels, because, I don't know, I'm going to kind of get ahead of myself, the smoothness of the treadling as well as the quickness without any sort of drag on the flyer head lets you very easily, I mean, you can find videos on YouTube of, I mean, where you can kind of like take the drive band off, and I mean, they will just spin and spin and spin and spin. And the polywog, you know, being small, people will ask like, oh, don't those little treadles, don't they hurt you? You know, and like maybe you're imagining from a different wheel brand, or if you haven't really spun, that you're having to really like push the treadles. And so I can see how you would think that would hurt your toes if like that's this little bar, like wouldn't that hurt your toes? And I always kind of laugh because, like, so just using the polywog example, like the polywog spins itself. I mean, you kind of like, you barely get that thing going. My biggest challenge spinning on a Spinolution wheel is not going too fast. Like, that is my biggest challenge, especially the polywog, because something about those little toe treadles and like the whole thing's lightweight. I can, if you put on the polywog and put on like a tense TV show with me, I'm going to have the twistiest yarn you've ever seen if I'm not paying attention, because I will just, it spins so easily because it's so smooth that, and it takes such little effort. That is, one, very fun, and two, can be very appealing if you're wanting to spin very fine yarns, you know, which is helpful not just if you want to knit with fine yarns, but if you're wanting to do like, what am I trying to say? Like color work, like with chain ply, your initial single ply, if you have a thinner, even single, you'll get more yardage out of your chain ply. So, you know, more pretty yarn, more color variation. So being able to have that really smooth, really quick spinning mechanism that, and we have gone through. So if you buy an older Spinolution wheel, you will have to look at, and they're all great. I mean, it's not like there's a bad one, but they have evolved with the time since I've been a dealer. The newest one, as of when I'm recording this video, so you know, who knows what they'll come out with, is the black diamond one. So if you look at your wheel and it looks like this black diamond that you see in this picture that's around me here somewhere, that is the newest one. We are able to make those stateside, which saves, you know, with lots of shipping times and aggravation, and it's made in America. So that's exciting. It also allowed us, with its lightweight build, to have a couple extra gears depending on the model of the wheel, so you know, like, don't take that to the bank, but it has lots of gear options. It's very lightweight and it's very smooth. So the one before that was the Golden Whirl, which you will see in a lot of my videos. That was kind of when I was getting into being a dealer, so building my wheels in my studio. So a lot of my wheels have the Golden Whirl. I do have wheels that have the black diamond. Honestly, I can't tell the difference. That seems to be something customers ask me about, is like, oh no, I really wanted this one, but now it's that one, or vice versa. I have a wooden one. I have the croc, I can't say it right, the old school wooden one on my polywog. It was the first one I got. It's fabulous. Like I just said, I can hardly not spin too fast on it. The Golden Whirl I have on several of my wheels, and then the black diamond one I have on my Abe. So I have one of each of them, and honestly, if you set me down at them and had me spin them, I couldn't tell you which one was which. So that might not be the opinion I'm supposed to give, that I can't tell one from the other, but I mean it as a compliment. They are all equally smooth and equally great and equally fast, and I can spin whatever type of yarn I want on any of them. But I have definitely in yarn shops spun on other brands of wheels, and I felt like I was trying to spin yarn on like a bicycle. Like, it had like these big metal arms and gears and chains, and it, you know, if you know, you know. So that was definitely, I can 110% tell the difference between any of my Spinolutions, and not all, I'm not generalizing, so don't, you know, have no nuance here, but other models that I have spun on that were not Spinolution. So for me, ergonomics and just ease of use and smooth treadling and the fast speeds is a big thing for me. So that's a big reason I think you would love a Spinolution wheel. I did pretty much just touch the same thing, but I wrote it down on the piece of paper as a separate point, and I got a different picture, so we're going to talk about it here too. The smooth treadling. And one thing I can talk about, in addition to the smooth treadle, as you see in this picture, whichever direction that this is going to be in, Spinolution innovates fairly often, and one of our most recent innovations that I can think of was this change, as you see in this picture, to the treadle action on the Echo. It got changed to match the way the treadle had gotten changed on the Monarch. And sometimes, of course, you know, like anything, change can be frustrating. But the reason for this change, and many of the changes that ever do happen, I feel like they do always have a good reason. It is always to make the spinning experience better. So in this case, it was to make this treadling on those studio wheels, especially the larger studio wheels, to be as smooth as possible for the customer. And so that's why you see the innovation here. So this Echo you see in this picture is the most recent Echo, and the one that I've had no complaints with. Everybody loves this one. You know, I don't think I've ever had any complaints with any Echoes, but this is the newest Echo. The treadle design before was more straight, and now it's at an angle, and that is to help with the smooth treadling, because if you have smooth treadling, you're going to have smooth drafting, you're going to have smoother yarn uptake. If you have a smooth running treadle and a smooth running wheel, you're going to have the easiest time spinning, where you're not feeling like, you don't want to feel like you're fighting with like your hands, your feet, your brain, and your spinning wheel. There's too many things to fight with at one time. So you want to, if you can take having to feel like you're fighting with your wheel out of the equation, then you just have to, you know, worry about your feet and your brains and your hands. And that's enough to worry about for me on any given day. So at least you don't have to worry about your wheel. So smooth treadle, and also innovation. So, you know, this is not a spinning wheel brand that is like resting on its laurels of past design. It's constantly improving itself. So there you go. There's another good reason. This might be my personal favorite reason for why you would love a Spinlution wheel. They are so versatile. This is the part that as a dealer, I probably have the most fun helping people with. And if we were face to face and you're like, Aaron, help me pick a wheel, like this is the exact process we would go down. I would ask you how much traveling, you know, is this a wheel that you want to set up in a studio and have it be beautiful, but like it lives right there by that chair forever? Or are you looking for a spinning wheel you're taking to like outdoor music concerts? My mom likes to do that. She takes her polywog to outdoor music festivals and things at Brook Green Gardens, where she lives in Polly's. Shout out, Mom. So are you looking for a wheel that you can take around with you? Like, are you a fiber artist that you're taking a wheel where you're demoing spinning because you sell yarns, handspun and fiber at festivals, so you need a wheel that folds? That would be question number one. And then also, of course we would get into like what type of yarn do you want to spin, and then that helps you narrow down bobbin options. But as far as the versatility, like between all the points I've already covered, the bobbins, the hooks, the tubes, the gears, the ratios, the treadles of it all, they're endless. It is very much a, you know, choose your own adventure style spinning, which I really like. And I mean, I've never seen another spinning wheel that you can fold into a box. And I love my King Bee. It is probably the wheel that I am currently using the most. If you've watched any of the other videos on my channel, my puppy you keep seeing wandering around, having a wheel that folds into a box is a great thing. As well as the polywog literally disassembles and fits into a beach bag. You can't beat that. And then also we have these big, beautiful, you can get them fully engraved studio wheels that are like the showpiece. And then there's like the weird in the middle ones, like the bullfrog, that it's like, is it a studio wheel? It also kind of folds. It does both, which I think is a fantastic. I love my bullfrog. So there's also that. I love all of them. I love all of them. But the versatility is really fun to match people with. I'm happy to help you with any of that. If you want to, I will say comment below, but I don't always get YouTube notifications. I'm trying to do better about checking those. You can most definitely email me at aaron@feralscene.com, which you should be able to figure out how to spell all of that because it's on this YouTube channel somewhere. And that will come directly to me, or come find me on, you know, any of the social medias. But do please comment on this video. I keep trying to make sure I'm getting all the notifications. So if you have any questions on matching you with a wheel, or about the wheels, or whatever, comment below. Make sure you like and subscribe. I always forget to say that. Please like and subscribe. It helps this channel, which helps me continue to have a good excuse to make good fiber arts content for everybody. And I think that's all the points I wanted to cover on why I think you would love a Spinlution wheel. Okay, I'm embarrassed to admit, I almost forgot to add my favorite thing about why I like Spinlution wheels a whole bunch is they are an American veteran-owned business. The trees are literally California wood. They are made in our shops in Washington State and California. So we have dealers everywhere. You can find a dealer anywhere. If you don't have one local to you, I would be happy to be your dealer. But it's a made in America business. And I know, if you know anything about the rest of my business, even though it has changed and ebbed and flowed and all the things here in the past 8 years, the one thing that has definitely stayed the same with my business is huge focus in, I really want to promote small farms, small artists, small business, stateside sort of thing. So that was the number one reason I became a dealer. Was, one, I love the wheel. And two, I loved that, like, everything that I felt like they were doing was very easy for me to be like, well, yeah, that's me. That totally fits in with what I'm already doing. That's so exciting to me that it's all made here. It's an American business. It's a small business. It's a family-owned business. It's all the things that I love. So anyhow, I am always proud to be affiliated with Spinolution, and I almost forgot one of my favorite things about why I know I personally, when I buy anything, I mean, I'm this way about it. It can be hard to be, but like I said, I'm this way with, like, my clothes, with shoes. Like, I'm always the person that's, like, researching like, where do they make these yoga pants, like, that is definitely me. And so that fits right in with at least my personality. And I feel like a lot of other people's too. So, just so you know about Spinolution.